Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding.
My voice.
My story.
My dream.
Innovation Dialogue.
We are encouraged by their story. Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding. Today we're going to talk about China innovation. Especially we learn about the province, Jiangsu province, from Mr. Liu Qing. And he is the executive president of Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute. Welcome to our show. Thank you for coming. So actually you come to Silicon Valley to attend Silicon Valley Entrepreneurs Festival.
Yes.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Yeah, I think it's a very successful festival. The purpose for me to come over here, actually, we want to learn how the innovation, the ecosystem, in Silicon Valley. Because in Jiangsu, we're also trying to establish something like this, or improve our innovation ecosystem in China. Yeah.
You talked about innovation and ecosystem. That's actually the most important elements for innovation. First of all, tell us about Jiangsu province.
Okay. Probably, I think some of you know, the Jiangsu, actually we have a population nearly 80 million people. The GDP in 2015 is number 2, just a little after the Guangdong province.
Number 2 in whole China.
In the whole China, yeah. The value of the GDP of the Jiangsu province is about half of the California state GDP. So you know this number.
You can calculate the number, yes, it's really huge.
Exactly,
yes.
like that. Actually, during the last 20 or 30 years, the Jiangsu is always the leading province for the economy development. So in general, we can say we have 3 stages. The first the stage is started from 1980s. At that time, it's many private companies. We call it the labor-intensive industries. And then from 1990s, with actually the open of the door to the outside. So the many foreign companies come to China, especially come to Jiangsu. For example, in Suzhou, we have a Singapore industry park. And also in the other cities, many joint venture or from Europe and from Japan and from everywhere around the world. So we call it the capital-intensive industries. So that's somehow there's 2 stages. During this development of the economy, for 2 stages, Jiangsu somehow is leading the development of China. So far, because with the development of the economy of Jiangsu province, we have some kind of limit. For example, the labor cost become to be higher, and also the limit of the resource, or limit of the land, limit of the environment load, and so on. So the government are trying to say we should somehow go to another stage. We call it the knowledge or technology intensive industries. So, and in order to have this, to reach that stage, I think we need a lot of the new technology. We need really the technology support, not just the quantity of the manufacture or factory or production and so on.
Yeah, we're talking about the 3rd stage today, and actually Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Center played a very important role in this 3rd stage, right?
Yes.
So this is brand new organization, and when did they start it, and how did come up this idea? Okay,
the Jiangsu, we call it our G3, we call it Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute. It was established in the December of 2013. It's only it's about 2.5 years old, so it's kind of a new form. The reason is that we think in Jiangsu, as I said, in order to have a further development of economy, our industries need the technology support. So we need to have some kind of a sense organization which really can provide the technology can be used by the industries. So that's the reason why we have this. We would like to actually during the last about 10 or 15 years, the government has spent a lot of pay a lot of attention, also spend a lot of money on try to transfer technology from the universities or some academy, Chinese Academy of Science, the research institute, into the industries. But so far, I think we did a good job. If we have the good technology, which can be used by industries. All industries have ability which can do this. But now, where's the technology, and what is we need to have more and more, and need to have a high quality of technology. So the government is trying to build or establish this G-Tree or institute to be a provider of the technology. So that's the reason why you have the institute.
Yeah, so today we're talking about it's like a bridge between the universities and industries.
Yes.
And for yourself, actually you are the one from university to the industries, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about your story.
Yeah, actually I got all my education background in China. And afterwards I went to Europe. Actually I was working in Denmark for 7 years. And in about 2000 I back to China as a professor in Tsinghua University for about another 6 years. And then I back to my hometown, Chongqing, and worked as a dean of the school, and later on to be a vice president of the university. About 1.5 years ago, I came to Jiangsu as executive president of this institute. So from my experience for research, and also as a vice president of the university responsible for technology and research, I think no matter in China or United States, the university's professors' work is hard to go to industry directly. So because it still have quite a big gap between the university's work and the industry, what they need. So we think we need to have some kind of the research institute between this. So that's the reason why we have the G-Tree. And the G-Tree would like to play like G-Tree would like to be a bridge between the universities and the industries. That's
I think it's also because of the needs for China right now, the innovation. And talking about ecosystem, actually Silicon Valley, I think the best thing about Silicon Valley is you see the ecosystem is really healthy. It's run by itself.
Yes.
But for Jiangsu and for what you are doing, how do you build the ecosystem and how does this run?
Okay. I think in Silicon Valley, naturally, for many years, you already have the good ecosystem. For example, if your professors have some good ideas, some good research results, they can easily find the angel fund and then the VC and so on. They already have some standard way to do so. But in China, I think we don't have this.
You don't have connections, right?
Yeah, we have some VC, but usually a lot of focus on the early stage, so that it's hard for them to take the risk. It's also hard for them to evaluate the potential value because not get used to. And another reason is that because I come from the China universities, and I know in China the universities we are now, I think, focus on more on the science, focus on have more publications, and also we evaluate the professors' work, not really pay too much attention on how the work has been translated to the industries, transferred to the industries. We focus more on the scientific publications and so on. So the work done by the universities may be very creative, but it's still, I think, far away from industries. Because we don't have this ecosystem, we don't have the very good ecosystem like Silicon Valley. So that's the reason why the Jiangsu government to establish the G-Tree as part of the ecosystem.
You mentioned that professors' research probably still have a distance to the market.
Yes.
How did this happen? Why is the situation is like this?
I think that's a reason, because in university, usually the professors always focus on how the scientific reputation, so they have to publish. Okay, if you don't publish, and then probably you have to leave the university. It's one thing. I think the principle is the same everywhere. It's one. And another reason is that I think before our universities is far behind of the international universities, so they want to catch up. So they can do one thing right now, just to focus on the basic research, fundamental research. But I think another thing is that every university do the same. But actually, maybe we should not do it that way. But at this moment, most universities just follow the same model. no matter it's a Tsinghua and Peking University, or it's a Tsinghua University, or it's a Chongqing University, or something, some science technology university and so on. They always follow the same, model. So it's not so good, actually, from my point of view, at least.
I think as
but it's changing, but I still need time. Yeah.
As a professor who's been teaching in Tsinghua University and also Chongqing University, you know the system. It's really hard to change the system.
Yeah.
So like you are doing like a bridge between the universities and the technologies, right?
Yes.
And also transfer that to the industries.
Yeah.
But talking about evaluate the value, and how do you evaluate the value? Because there are many very early startups, well, so many of them, they may fail eventually, but how do you identify the value at the very, very beginning?
Yeah, I think for the early stage of the startup or for some technology, from my point of view, actually, I think the people, the team, especially the team's background, if they only have a background for research in university, usually it may have high risk. But if they already have some experience for startup for themselves, even his story not success, but we still think it's good. So from my point of view, if we value the team or especially the startups, we always actually from my point of view, I always say how the people, how the team. Yeah.
You will see what's the background and what have they done in the past.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, but what do you see the trend, especially in Jiangsu province?
What do you mean the trend?
The trend of technology, because the technology means really a lot of different field.
Okay.
But in Jiangsu, and what's the trend?
Yeah, actually, the Jiangsu, we are, as I already said, we are the big province. We have 8 million people, so almost we have industries on different areas. But at this moment, we are focused more on the IT, and we also focus on the biomedical. And of course, advanced manufacture is quite important because we have many medium on the big size of the manufacturer company in Jiangsu province. Yeah, that's what we're focused on. Yeah.
So IT, biotech,
and advanced manufacture.
Okay. Well, so you come to Silicon Valley. Actually, you're going to the global. So what's the interaction and what's the hope?
Yeah. I think the reason why I come to Silicon Valley actually is we want to searching for some kind of cooperation between the universities and the professors here with our institutes. As I said, we like to be a bridge between the universities and our Jiangsu industries. But the universities, it doesn't mean it's Chinese universities. It means all the universities all around the world. So my trip this time, I visited the Stanford University on last Friday and talked to quite a few excellent professors, and also talked with the engineering school, and also talked with the license office and so on. And I also are going to visit the University of California in Berkeley on Tuesday, actually tomorrow. So the same, yeah. And try to searching for some kind of the cooperation between the university and our institutes. Yeah.
You visit so many other universities here, Stanford, Berkeley, and what's the difference typically between the students here and students in China?
It's a big question, actually. But as a professor, in the university, and also I had been administration, for the university as well. So I can see the difference is that here, I think in China, we provide more knowledge. Try to tell students you need to learn this. I think we should pay more attention on the ability for learning, for communication, and so on. So not just knowledge, because knowledge now, especially when the internet becomes to be so popular, I think the students can easily to get that. So our Chinese university, I think we still need to change this somehow. We should not occupy so many hours of the students' time every day and let them just sit in the class and to hear the lecture from the professors. We should let them to training their ability, different, the creative ability, I said communication, how could we searching for some new things on the internet and so on. So that's the first. And the second is that I think here the students have more chance to practice. They can get more internship in the school or in the company, and so on. They have a lot of the experience, a lot of a chance to have experience for themselves. I think the third one is that I came from the Chongqing University, which is a very engineer-oriented university. Even so, the professors in our engineering school, much smaller percentage of our staff had the engineering experience, industry experience. But in the United States, in Europe, especially for example in Germany, if you don't have industry experience, you're not qualified to be a professor in the engineering school. But in China, probably this percentage only a few percent. So that's really too low. So in that way, I think the students, when they receive the education from the professors, only have academic the experience without industry experience. I think it's quite different. So that's also quite big.
This can be a really a big topic to discuss about.
That's right.
But let's come back to the we're talking about the bridge between the universities and industries. And actually for Jiangsu Industrial Technology Research Institute, you are going to build a research center in Denmark, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, we are in order to access to the innovation resource.
Why Denmark and not Silicon Valley?
Yeah, sure. We're also going to do that. But probably just in different way. So we think the Europe or in the United States, you have a very the innovation resource out of here, and we are searching for some kind of the cooperation.
So what are you going to do in Denmark?
Okay, in Copenhagen, we are going to have a joint incubator. We call the China. The Danish China Innovation Center. Actually, it's a kind of an incubator which has the identity of Chinese identity. Actually, it's also operated commercially by a local the company which already had quite a good experience for incubator operation, as well. Under the umbrella of the G3, we have 24 so far specified institute. Actually, we hope that each of them should act as the platform which can attract the good team outside of China, or can attract the professors from all around the world, like to have the further development of the already done some good work, and and come to China, come to that platform and to do the further development, and then before they go to commercialize. So that's what I'll go.
Well, because this is it's a good start, and you see so many incubators from China has come into Silicon Valley and all over the world. As a professor, as a president, and also as someone who has been working in Europe for so many years, what's the role you think that China is going to play? What's responsibility to the whole world in this innovation world?
Yeah, I think the first thing, I think for China, I think we should somehow follow the international rule to respect the IP. So I think it's really first thing. When I talk with the people in the United States or Europe, the main concern to have cooperation with China is IP issue. So that's something I think our government, the central government, our province government, I think we did a lot of work on this, a lot of improvement, but I think we still need to have more. So done more for this. I think it's very, very important for China to be integrated with this innovation ecosystem all around the world. I think it's a very important thing first. The second is that I think in China we are on a different stage of development economy compared to the United States and Europe. I think, for example, in Silicon Valley, I can say some hardware technology is not such a hot topic. But here, maybe biomedical or this VR and so on, and all this internet stuff is a very hot topic. But in China, in Jiangsu, we are still focused on advanced manufacture. We are still focused on the materials, advanced materials, and so on. We are still focused on the chip design or this kind of sense. So I think the China could have another opportunity. So for us, actually, for the G3, we would like to focus on this kind of area. We can learn from Silicon Valley for some hot topics, but for us, I think we're on different stage. We know which kind of technology we should attract. Yeah, I think we probably have a better. For example, when I talked with a few professors in Stanford University, they have some good technology, which is good for environmental issue, for the water treatment, for the air pollution control, and so on. But here, probably you don't need this. So much industry is here. But in China, we really need this. So I think I hope the Jiangsu province or our G3 can provide some kind of the new opportunity for the new technology or new knowledge or research results from universities here.
Yeah, and hope that the new technology and new research can improve the environment.
Yes,
and also,
yeah, that's also a global issue,
yes,
not only for China.
Yeah, that's right. So before the end of our show, we always like to ask our guests the same question.
Yeah?
What is innovation by your definition in your industry? In one sentence.
I think innovation is to create something which really can be valuable for society. Yeah, not just the new, should be the valuable for society.
So create something which is valuable for our society.
Yes.
And for human being.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. Thank you so much.
As a startup in Silicon Valley, innovation is our DNA. It's inside our blood. What is innovation?
Very confident.
It's a way of thinking, it's a philosophy, it's a mindset. It's very closely related to leadership.
For me, it's really about finding the right fit between the product and the market.
Have a strong technology position, a strong market impact.
Innovation can be an idea, can be a product, can be a service, or can be a thinking. It can be everything, out-of-box thinking, not limited to your background, to the past. Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding, and today we are going to talk about Cloud Festival. Today we have Carrie Davis, and she's here to share her story, which is so inspiring. What we are doing here is to summarize, bring out the point, and give a good presentation. Help people to bring out their idea to the whole world.
It's very important to be able to spot human talent and to be a good leader.
More importantly, it's how our corporate and partners perceive the value that's come out of the event.
It was all about seizing the opportunity rather than looking at the world as a set of problems.
I want to change the paradigm of angel investing being local. I want all of us to think global and to look at great opportunities in Asia or Europe, wherever it is in the world.
Come to Dingding TV. Let us work together to bring out your idea to share with the whole world.